What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Of course, it's raining today. Actually, it's been raining all weekend long. I think it's going to rain for the rest of the week. And I'm not mad about it because I love the rain shit. I I love the rain because you know what? Saturday, when it was raining, I woke up 8 o'clock in the morning and it was raining. That rain sounded so good. I fell back asleep. I didn't wake up till 4 hours later. It feels good to sleep in on a Saturday. It feels real good. But yeah, I hope all you had a great weekend. Before I get into this episode, let me tell you something. This was a great episode. I love this episode. And I want to bring this up because you know what? I had a thought over the weekend about this show. I really did. And usually on the weekends I don't think about General Hospital, but I had a thought. Um as fans, I feel like we're overcritical of the writing of the show, and I know we have been. You know what I mean? Because if you watch this show for a long time, this show has been on over 50 years. Some of you who view my channel, you said that you've been watching for 30 years, some been watching for 40, some been watching since day one. And we grew accustomed to certain storylines. You know what I'm saying? When you grew up watching this show. So we became overcritical of the current writing of the show, but I had an epiphany about this, though. We shouldn't be overcritical of the writing. And I say that because as much as we bring up past storylines and how great they were, that's the thing. It's the past. We can't go back to 2008. We can't go back to Claudia Zakara. I mean, I wish they would, but we can't go back to those days of the Zakaras. We can't go back to Luke and Laura running from bad guys, islands and stuff like that. We we can't go back to 1983. We can't go back to 1999. As much as we all wish we possibly could, because those were some damn good times, but we can't. We just got to keep moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So I try to look for me. This is me personally. I try to look for the good in every storyline. There's, some bad in the storyline that I do critique, but I try to always look for the good. You know what I'm saying? And I know some episodes they get boring and stuff like that, but you got to remember also this show is on 5 days a week. They don't get no off season. They don't get none of that. So the writers have to bust their ass every day to come up with great storylines, or at least something that's great or close to great. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard on them. So I tip my hat to the writers because I don't know if I can possibly do that. You know what I'm saying? Sit in a writer's room and try to come up with storylines for these characters every day, and you don't get no off season. You know what I mean? Like it's tough. So my hat is off to them. So I try to be less critical of the things they do. I really do. I try. I'm a work in progress, like I'm sure the rest of y'all are works in progress. We try. But getting into this episode, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I want to talk about the kids first, the teen storyline. Jocelyn and Oscar, I'm ready for them to be over because I just feel like Jocelyn is so rude to Oscar. Like, her attitude with him is always on 10. Like, she always seems to have an attitude. I feel like Jocelyn is going to be a lot like Carly when it comes to guys and dating. Because I have this feeling that she, just like Carly, she likes bad guys. She don't like the good cookie cutter type of dude. Jax was not perfect by any means. But compare him to Sonny and Lorenzo Alcazar and AJ and all them, he was real good to Carly. He was like, I've always said this, Jax was the best husband Carly ever had. I'm going to tell you that right now. He was the best husband. Look at her scenes in 2009 when she was pregnant with Jocelyn. He was so attentive towards her. He was loving towards her. He accepted her children. Not many dudes who marry a woman that got kids accept those children into their lives as their own. He accepted Michael and Morgan as his own children. You know what I'm saying? He tried to keep them safe. He was loving towards them. He was attentive. Even Carly said when Morgan was a kid, Morgan used to do karate and stuff. Jax was at every karate class, every practice, everything. Jax was always there. You know what I'm saying? Who does that for their stepkids? You know what I mean? Not many do. So Jax was the best husband she had. And I feel like with Jocelyn, when it comes to Oscar, I was so pissed off because I'm like, every time I see Oscar and Jocelyn together, it just seems like he's apologizing to her for something. And I feel like most of the stuff he apologized for, he shouldn't even have to apologize because he didn't do anything wrong. When he was talking about Cameron and the stealing today and stuff, I did feel like he was a little too judgmental of Cameron, but at the same time, what he was saying was not wrong. He wasn't wrong in what he was saying. Cameron has no right to steal. And somebody said this in my comments that, oh, Jocelyn was going through whatever with her mother. That's fine, and I've mentioned that before, that she was going through some shit in her life. But my point is, it doesn't give anybody the right to steal. That's my point. It doesn't give you the right to steal. You know what I mean? So somebody, let me ask y'all this question. Say if you own a store, a department store, anything, clothing store, whatever. Some teenager is going through hell in their life and they come in and steal. Is that okay with you because they're going through things in their life? No, it shouldn't be okay with you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, you might feel a little sympathetic towards them, but that don't give them the right to steal your property. You have to make a living too. So they steal property that's worth $200. Guess what? That's $200 that you just lost. You have to pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? It's not right for somebody to steal your stuff. I don't care what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? I care, but I don't care at the same time, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I don't care because it's like you don't steal my property because you're going through some shit, but I care because I'm sympathetic towards your issue. But it still doesn't excuse your behavior. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I feel like Oscar needs to be with somebody who is going to respect him the same way he respects others, because he has shown Jocelyn tremendous respect. He doesn't pressure her into anything. He never disrespects. He never crosses the line with her. You know what I mean? So he deserves somebody who's going to show him the same affection and love and respect that he's dishing. That's what he should get. Even though there are teenagers and I don't think they should be in that serious of a relationship, but I know how it is to be a teenager in a relationship and stuff. You know what I mean? So he should get the same thing that he dishes out. He should get it back tenfold. That's how I feel. Jocelyn's being a little brat towards him and stuff like that, and I don't like it because she's showing a lot of Carly, and it's like that's the bad side of Carly that I don't like. Cameron, let me tell you something. I listen. He couldn't be my son. I'm sorry, Cameron could not have been my son. He would have got fucked up in that court, in that precinct, in that police department. If I was Cameron's parents, Cameron would have got jacked up in that police department. I would have been in jail if he ever spoke to me like that. I would have been in jail. Like the way he spoke to Elizabeth and Franco was so out of line. So out of line. Like he just pretty much tried to act like he didn't do shit wrong. Like everything was everything. I was like, no, he should have got a serious ass whooping. I would have ATL stomped all over his face. I'm just saying. This boy stole earphones that cost $160. That's a lot of money for some earphones. It really is. That's a lot. That's ridiculous. I told y'all in the other video, earphones are expensive. Like, I don't care if I'm a millionaire. I'm not spending that much on some headphones. I'm not. I don't care how much I got. I don't care. First of all, this boy has a job. You know, he's a camp counselor. So I doubt, of course he doesn't make a whole lot of money, but he does make some money. And you are a camp counselor for at least 2 months out of the summer, at least 2 to 3 months. So that's enough to save up some money plus have some little left over. This boy said, I didn't want to waste my entire summer working just to save up for some earphones. I'm like, really? That's what people do when they want something. If a woman out here wants a new Gucci bag or something, you know what they got to do? They got to work for it. They got to go save up their money because they want that bag. You know what I mean? A dude wants a big screen TV. Guess what? He got to work hard to save up some money to buy that screen TV. He ain't going to go out and steal it. You know what I mean? Because you want it. If you want it, like Elizabeth said, work for it. Work for it. And then he's sitting there talking about, it's not my fault that we're so poor. Really? You're poor? Cameron is far from poor. I looked this up online. As soon as he said that, I looked it up online how much a surgical nurse makes. Surgical nurses, depending, they make between $61,000 and $67,000 a year. That's really good money for a surgical nurse. That's good money. In New York, some nurses make $80,000 a year. That's a damn good living. I'm just saying. And for him to sit there and tell his mother we're poor. First of all, you're far from poor. You're not rich, but you're not poor either. This boy clearly don't know what poor is. You don't know what poor is. You know what I'm saying? You really don't know what poor is. Let me tell you something. Cameron and his brothers always had a roof over their head. Provided the last house that they lived in, yeah, Jason paid for it, but so what? You still had a roof over your head. You lived in the suburbs. You didn't grow up in the poor side of town. You didn't grow up in the hood. You grew up in the suburbs until recently when they moved into the brownstone. Look, they live in a brownstone. You know how nice Elizabeth's house is? The brownstone is? That house is nice. I'm sure all of you seen Elizabeth's new house in the brownstone. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful home. And it looks like it's in a decent neighborhood. It ain't in no hood. It ain't in the poor section of town. It's very nice. It's beautifully decorated. IKEA furniture, of course. It's beautiful. So how are you going to sit there and say you're poor? You've always had clothes. Let me tell you something. If you have clothes on your back, food in your stomach, a roof over your head, all the amenities that you could ever want, if you have all those things, even if you don't have all the amenities that you want, if you just have a roof over your head, food in your belly, clothes on your back, you ain't poor by any stretch of the word. You're not poor. That's not poor. Look up the real definition of poor. Let me tell you something. I remember going downtown and stuff like that because when I was going to high school, we had to take the city bus to go to high school. I used to go downtown, and on the green, there used to be homeless people down there sleeping downtown on the curb. Let me tell you something. That's poor. That's poor. You're not poor. People sleeping on the curb and stuff like that. That's poor because they don't have a roof over their head. They're wearing the same clothes every day. They don't have hot showers and stuff. They can't. They don't have any of that stuff. That's poor. This boy is ridiculous. And you know what? I love the way Elizabeth handled him because initially she wanted him to work, and he's lucky though that she even allows him to continue to work because she grounded him. And he was surprised that she grounded him. Even Franco said it. He was like, "Are you really surprised by that?" I said, "Exactly. Why are you surprised that your mother grounded you? You stole. Of course she's gonna ground you." And of course he says, "Oh, you're ruining my life." Typical teenager shit. You're ruining my life. That's pretty much what every rebellious teen always say to their parents. First of all, you're ruining your own fucking life. Your mother's trying to stop you from ruining your life. You're the one sitting here stealing. If you get a police record, you know how hard it's going to be for you to get a job? You know how hard it's going to be for you to get into a good college? You're ruining your own fucking life. Your mother ain't ruining shit. You're doing that all on your own. You know what I mean? Like, he's ridiculous. She wanted him to pay Franco the money back because Franco paid the store owner for the headphones. So he dropped the charges, plus he wants an apology. Franco didn't want the money from Cameron. In my opinion, I don't care if Franco didn't want the money back. If I'm Elizabeth, I'm going to make you pay that money back because it's going to teach you a lesson. You know what I mean? It's going to teach you a lesson. He needs to be taught a lesson. He really does. It's time for tough love, And I felt like Elizabeth did handle it well. She could have done better, but she handled it well. You grounded him. You wanted him to pay the money back. You handled it like most parents probably would. Like I said, I'm not like most people. I probably would have whooped his ass, but that's just me. But yeah, man, he don't know what poor is. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But anyway, moving on from that. This whole Jason, Anna, Robert, Finn situation. Jason might as well quit being a mob enforcer and just become a private investigator or just become Superman. Just put that S on your chest. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like everybody comes to Jason when they need some help. I'm like, Jason might as well just quit the mob. You know what I mean? Just become a PI. He has a knack for it, though. He definitely does. He has the intelligence for it. But it was great seeing him and Robert working together. You know what I'm saying? What I hate is law enforcement agencies running to the mob for help. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I don't like. But Jason and Robert working together, I can get behind that. They were coming up with some great theories though of what happened, why it's happening, because they pretty much figured out that if Anna was the bait and Finn was the person they really wanted. I had a fucking feeling the person that they wanted Finn to treat was Cassandra. I had a feeling. I've been thinking about that. I said, what if it is Cassandra though? I've been thinking about that shit for days. I'm like, it could have been Cassandra because why else would they want Finn? You know what I mean? Finn of all people. And I thought about it and I said it gotta be Cassandra. I know some people were thinking that Anna in the room with Finn was really Alex. I didn't believe that though. I didn't really believe it because I just had a hunch. Like, why would they go with another twin storyline when clearly they're getting ready to do that with Kevin and Ryan? So I don't really see them doing another twin storyline with Alex and Anna. Not so soon and not so close to another storyline that they're doing. I think we've had our fill of twins. Um, but I'm excited for this though. I'm really excited to see Cassandra again because, as you all know, I've been really campaigning for her to come back to this show because I think she's a character who can be a really great villain. I think she can be. I think she could fill that Helena Cassadine type role that we need on this show because, well, I feel like that's just my personal opinion because, as you know, I'm a big fan of Helena Cassadine. And we need another villain like her. You know, another female villain or another male villain. We need something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like to keep everybody on their toes because Helena definitely did that. Helena was entertaining. She had style, grace, poise, class, and she was the devil incarnate. So it all was blended so well. Um, she was so proper and pristine, but she would slit your throat at the drop of a dime. We need people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a good villain. So I'm excited to see where this is gonna go. I really am. Totally excited. Um, Now getting on with this courtroom shit. Let me tell you something. I was nervous for Alexis today because we all pretty much figured that once the truth came out on stand, it might take the case or whatever. I have to give fucking props to Alexis because even though the truth came out that Griffin slept with Kiki, Alexis did not freak out. She kept her dignity. She kept her poise. She kept on going with the case and she twisted that shit. She turned that shit around right back into Kiki's favor. She did. She really did because she kept asking Griffin. She was like, so you sleeping with Kiki, that didn't affect no work, no your working situation. It didn't affect how you judged her work or anything. He said no. Alexis turned that shit back around. She didn't let it. She didn't let that shocking information rattle her. She didn't let it mess up her case. She still pushed through, and I loved it. You know what I'm saying? Even without being given a heads up, she still pushed through with the case. And she did come up with great arguments on the stand when she had witnesses up there, even when she had Dr. Bench on the stand. Um, Dr. Bench pretty much wanted to slut shame Kiki. And even Scott was like, that's not a good idea. Because Scott has shit working in his favor too. But you didn't really need to slut shame Kiki to get shit done. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't going to, it ain't going to really help you. It's not going to help your case to slut shame her. Because truth be told, yeah, she slept with Griffin, but it was consensual sex. And it was on their personal time. It was never at the hospital. It didn't affect their job. It didn't affect their work relationship to a point where they weren't getting their work done. It didn't do any of those things. Him sexually harassing Kiki affected her. Not only personally, mentally, but even professionally, it affected her to where she was, speaking out to the chief of staff, where she was speaking out to other coworkers about it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Kiki still has a good chance to win this. Griffin, that boy got slapped twice. I thought when I seen the preview, I thought Ava was going to slap him one time. She said, every time he opened his mouth, she gave him a slap. I said, damn, Ava was not playing. And this is the one line that I hate when somebody use when they cheat. It just happened. I don't know how it happened. It just happened. So you just happened to kiss Kiki. You just happened to sleep with her. All of that just happened. You had no control over any of that. It all just happened. See, that's the worst excuse you can give. It just happened. And even Ava got more pissed when he said that. It just happened. She was seething when he said that because she was in disbelief that he would even say some dumb shit like that. Here's the thing I want to say about Ava. Everything she said about Griffin, I totally agreed with. I totally agree with it. I felt like the only reason, and I said this in my previous video, the only reason Griffin said I love you to her was because he knew the truth was going to come out. And he was hoping that by him saying he loved her, it would at least get her to forgive him. You know what I'm saying? He said that to save his ass. And even Ava noticed that. She wasn't stupid. Ava knew. She knew. She was like, that's the only reason you said that shit. And I feel like with Griffin, everything she said was true. He does have a complex where he needs to save somebody. Ava needed saving, so he saved her. And of course, he got some sex out of it. You know what I mean? But my thing about Ava is she said, I felt like not that she said it, but I felt like she changed herself and her personality to accommodate Griffin. And I feel like that was that was the worst mistake she could have made. If you want to change yourself and change your habits, change your personality, do it for you, not for somebody else, not even for your kids. You know what I'm saying? Do it for because you want to do it for you, because it's good for you. You know what I mean? Don't do it because somebody else wants you to do it or because you feel like, "Oh, I got to do it to keep this person in my life." No, change for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, if you change yourself for you and you do it for you, you would get so much more satisfaction out of it. But she did it for him. And it backfired. Because now he done fucked around. And I'm like, now she pissed. And when she told Griffin to get out, and he's sitting there talking about, "Oh, I regretted it. I'm sorry." When she looked at him and told him, "You're not half as sorry as you're going to be," she said, "Trust me, you're going to be sorry. I promise you that." Once she said, "I promise you that," Griffin, your dumb ass is about to lose everything. You're about to lose your job. You're probably about to even lose your freedom or even your medical license. You're about to lose everything behind this shit. I hope it was worth it. I hope that little 5-10 minutes of pleasure was worth it. I hope so. Because Ava is coming for your ass. She's coming for you. Another person I want to acknowledge, Lulu. She's in there asking Julian, "Oh, did you know that Griffin and Kiki slept together?" Of course he didn't know, dum dum. I'm pretty sure if Julian knew, he more than likely would have told Ava if he knew. Because number one, he don't give a shit about Griffin. So I doubt he would have kept that secret. Maybe he possibly would have held on to it for Kiki's sake. But I doubt he would have held on to it for Griffin. He don't even like Griffin. Hell no, he didn't know. Lulu reporting ass. She was only asking that question probably to jot it down and put it in her little report. You know how her sneaky ass is. But I love this episode though. This episode was great. I could not stop watching. Like this shit, it was great. Anyway, hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode, and I will see y'all all later. Peace.